Okay, so before this video starts, in regards to this whole video, the sealant I ended up using in this was an absolute pain in the butt. So that's why the end of this video ended up being a little bit sloppy. So I just wanted to apologize for that beforehand. And also, this is filmed about 3 months after I did the headlights and the car's been fixed and everything. Maybe a little longer, actually, now that I think about it. Anyways, I wanted to show the headlights and how they've held up. So here they are on the car. It's been about 3 months or so since I've done them in that video. You can see they've held up pretty good. There's some scratches on them, but it still has the clear bar on it, so they're fine. I've had zero issues with fading, zero issues with them fogging up, or any like water leaks or anything, and it's been pretty perfect. So the sealant I use does work, but as you'll tell in the video, it is very frustrating to use. So just make sure that the channels are filled up properly and fully with the sealant, and give them a really good clamp time. All right, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to replace the lenses on a C6 Corvette headlight, as well as swap out the internal colors, because this replacement one I got is not the same as my factory one. So this is my factory headlight. Here's my other factory headlight. It got hit, so the car was in a crash. It busted up all the tabs off of it. There's some holes in it. I don't want to use it. This is the lens off of our other one. It's pretty rough, and I also need to take the color out. So we're swapping the color into this one and replacing the lenses with brand new lenses I got under here, as well as some new sealers and a protective film to put on top to protect it from any sun damage. So step one, we're going to take off all the trim around this, remove anything that might get beat up in the heat, and then we're going to slap it in the oven at 350 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes. That way we'll be able to pry this apart and get this lens off. I'm also going to go ahead and take this wiring out just so it doesn't get beat up in the heat. All right, got that wiring off. Okay, popping in to show you real quick. To remove these are E4 Torx sockets that you need. So this part is supposed to be in the plastic housing of the colored piece, threaded in here. This part's not supposed to come out. It's supposed to stay in here. So what you should do, instead of what I was about to show, is put a E4 bit on this, and then get, I believe it's an 8 or a 9. I think it's a 9. It's a 9. Get a 9mm wrench. So you want to put your E4 on here. Might even be an E3. The E4 feels a little loose. Put an E4 on here, and then get a 9mm open-end wrench, box wrench, and then take that nut off of there. That way these don't break, and then you'll be good. Most of the time they like to back out like this. When they do that, you're fine to just thread them back in with it, and it'll be good. But yeah, little tips and tricks, because I did it wrong on both of them, so now they're all backed out. All right, got the headlight in the oven. Now we let it sit for about 18 to 20 minutes. All right, now that we have one extremely toasty, actually kind of needed that. Now that we have one extremely toasty headlight, these tabs are supposed to be a little bit more malleable when they're hot. That one wasn't. Should like to separate from this top corner, personally. Yeah, it's already separating, which is nice. Should split relatively easily. Keep in mind, dude, these tabs break like crazy. Just broke another one. Keep in mind of the tabs. All right. Should be able to just pry it off now. This is a how-to as well as a how not to. So I'm breaking everything. Woo, hot. Okay. This is the one we don't need this internal from, because this is the wrong color for my car. Leave that to the side, and then what you want to do is, while it's still nice and toasty, find a flathead screwdriver that is roughly the width of the channel in here. And we're going to use that to slowly just scrape this crap out of here. All right, once you eventually are able to get all of the old sealant out of these channels, yes, it's a pain. As you can tell, this one was a lot easier. I did not beat up the channels as much. I went ahead and did both headlights. This one was a struggle, and I really don't know why. Once you get that out, we're gonna go ahead and grab our old lenses. We're gonna flip them over. We're gonna take out the screws holding in this color in here. So there should be 4 screws holding that in. And we're gonna do our best to do not touch the painted side unless there has already been contamination on it from stuff inside your headlight. This is non-clear coated paint, and it will, well, to my knowledge it is, it will scratch very, very easily. Even if you're using a microfiber or being very delicate, I've heard these scratch ridiculously easy. So do your best to not touch these unless you have to. Okay, these already come ridiculously clean, so no need to clean them. All right, now that I've got this cleaned off to the best of my ability without scratching it, we're gonna go ahead and set this in here. Just like so, and re-put in these screws. We want them to be snugged up against the plastic, and that's about it. All right, now with those in, I'm going to go ahead and flip this back over just to prevent any dust or contamination from falling in here. Actually, I'm gonna kind of recover it up with this just a little bit, and then we'll flip it back over. All right, now I'm gonna do the same with the other one. All right, once you get that done on both headlights, your next step is gonna be wanting to make sure that these are clean. In case you got any contamination or debris on your lenses or reflectors, make sure just double check those are clean, that you don't have any debris in here. And then we're gonna test mock it up and glue it in. All right, time for a little test fit. And when we seal this on here, make sure that you're not pressing it on here like ridiculously hard. We do have these 3 screws down here that are gonna thread into the plastic backing of your colored housing. So when this gets set on here, set it on here and slowly tighten these down evenly. That way you don't risk cracking your housing. All seems to line up well. Okay, so these 3 screws were done wrong, I'm aware. I'm gonna leave them like this and just thread them back in where they go as I put this on, and it should be okay. I just have to make sure that I do not over tighten them at all. That being said, let's get some sealant adhesive in this channel, and then we'll get this thing wrapped up. You can also use, I forgot what this stuff is called. I think it's like butane. It's got a weird name to it. You could also use this, but the company I went with, it's like Umaniza or something. Anyways, they sent me only this much for both headlights, and they didn't even send me enough for one headlight. So that being said, we're not using it because, well, quite frankly, I just don't want to buy more. And this stuff is easier to work with. It will also probably never be able to separate again, but that's okay. Here's the stuff they sent me that apparently you're supposed to use. If you want to pause the video and look that up, you're more than welcome to. This is what I'm personally using. You can also use this. Based on what I researched, this should be just fine. It's also much easier to work with. Okay, so my goal is to just lay a pretty even bead in here. I'm starting to question if I'm gonna have enough. I'm pretty satisfied with that. All right, looks good to me. Now we're gonna put this lens on here. I'm gonna flip it over so I can start working on those threads as I compress this together. All right, that sucks, That sucks massively. So use this stuff, the little coil stuff. It's called butyl. It's what you're supposed to use on this. You heat it up, you clamp it together, and it's good. I don't even need to explain. I got one done. I don't have enough. I have to order more, and then we can do the other one. So, yay, it's done. Follow me if you want to see how this crap holds up.